What's up, everybody? Welcome in DawgNation.com. I'm Jeff Sentell. It's Wednesday night. Wheels landed back in Georgia. I don't know how many of you guys are back in Georgia. Maybe a lot of you dog people are probably still in the air. I actually caught a red eye last night about 12:58 out of LAX back to Georgia. I might have had a few hours of sleep this afternoon once I got back, but heck, man, all you got to really say is Georgia sliced off some significant history, special, unrivaled plateau in program history on Monday night. Everybody flew a day to get back, basically. This weekend, everybody says recruiting never stops, but I think when it comes to the Georgia Bulldogs, I think recruiting accelerates. One of the things we'll talk about tonight is there's going to be a big list of visitors coming in this weekend for the trophy celebration, for the championship parade. Five-star on edge, Colin Simmons out of Texas. That's one guy. Got a chance to speak to him a lot, really at length recently. He's going to be in town. Landon Thomas is going to be in town. Nikar is going to be in town. Landon Thomas and Nikar are the two guys from Colquitt County. They were expecting to make it up to Athens this weekend. Ryan Puglisi, the 2024 quarterback out of Avon Farms in Connecticut, he's going to be in town this weekend. But the thing with Simmons, five-star out of Texas, he is thoroughly intrigued with the Dogs, what they're building, thinks it could be something special. He believes that Georgia is a place where all the Dogs go, a place where all the best players in the country play, and he considers himself one of those guys. And big first trip for Colin Simmons. I expect it to be very impactful. He told me he's going into the trip wanting to love it, wanting to adore it. He wants his socks knocked off by Georgia, and I think that's going to happen this weekend. Actually, not the longest guy is being recruited by Chadiria Uzo-Duribe to be an outside backer, even though he doesn't really have that ideal outside linebacker size. But he is a terrific football player, a five-star linebacker in the class of 2024 out of Texas. KJ Bolden might show up. He told me as well that he's obviously looking at Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, those type of schools for his first visits in the month of January. I think the momentum and everything with KJ Bolden might allow him to be there. So one of the things, guys, let me make sure we're doing this right. I have let me jump on YouTube, get some questions. You guys have any questions? Let me just address the part of the headline everybody's swarming up about. So Georgia wins a national championship. They're currently have the number one graded recruiting class in the country for 2024. They're the back-to-back national champions. They're having a championship celebration this weekend. And, how can Georgia's recruiting momentum get even hotter? Well, behind the scenes over the last couple of maybe 6 to 8 weeks, I think Georgia has really moved itself into a good position with five-star quarterback Dylan Raiola. He's the number one overall prospect in the country. He's the number one overall quarterback for the class of 2024. We've written about him on DawgNation.com before, especially this time about a year ago when it looked like Georgia was the team to beat. Raiola was in SoFi Stadium watching Georgia play TCU on Monday night. There have been crystal balls. Steve Wilfong of 24/7 Sports dropped the crystal ball for Dylan Raiola as well. Lots of chatter there with Mr. Raiola. He wants to I don't know if this situation will be where you're going to see anything imminent, because I think basically they want to do their due diligence with the recent decommitment from Ohio State. Recent, I said maybe the last 4 or 5 weeks, and they want to go back into a visit plane and make sure they make a measured decision with their next decision. But all you got to say is I think Georgia, this is a race that Georgia can win, and this is a race that Georgia is certainly in the thick of. And you look for ways this program can get better and better and better and better. Say what you want about Stetson Bennett. The knee-jerk reaction for somebody to say would be to say, wow, what would Georgia look like if they had a Bryce Young or a CJ Stroud at quarterback? Folks, you might miss it, but have had that type of player in certain big spots, at least the production, at least the output, at least the results in Stetson Bennett over the last couple of years, especially the way he's played on those big game stage opportunities. He's been in 4 national playoff games, and he's been the offensive MVP in all 4 of those playoff games. Pretty special, heady, legend, great all-time mailman stuff right there. Let me see what everybody's talking about on Twitter, on YouTube and Facebook. Let me give YouTube a turn first. Everybody unpacked yet? Speaking of which, we've got a great show tonight. We came out here and we was like, you know what? We're unpacking our clothes. We're unpacking our gear. We're unpacking our camera equipment. We're going to unpack our video inventory, guys. I've got so many videos from All-American Bowls in Texas, All-American Bowls in Orlando. I've got stuff from LAX and the Natty. We're going to be like Ken Burns with all the video we're going to have here on DawgNation's Before the Hedges over the next few weeks here. Brought to you by Kroger. So we got a lot of video. We got 4 videos tonight. Before I jump in, you got a question right now, drop your question right now. But let me tee this up. We're going to have videos tonight from Payton Woodyard, the 4-star 2024 safety commitment, with a special appearance by Bill Goldberg. Nobody's ever seen this yet. You've got Troy Bowles, the All-American linebacker, signee, but he is not an enrollee. He has to go his entire senior year at Jesuit High in Tampa. We've got Monroe Freeling talking yoga, and we've also got Jordan Big Baby Hall as well. Plethora of stuff, lots of stuff to talk about. These videos will be coming up pretty soon. For a terrific March right here with Georgia football and Georgia football recruiting. UGA Chris M, how are you? Gary Max talking about three-peat. Jay Chappelle wants to fill up the roster. UGA Chris, everyone wants to worry about players to the portal. So, some people do really rough speculation. Like I never thought, I know there's a market and there's a lane for that. I personally, I'll go through a few names. I don't think Brock Vandagriff will be transferring. I think Brock Vandagriff is very close to graduation. He would graduate later. I believe he would graduate after this fall, and I would look for him to make any decisions once he has a degree in hand at Georgia. I think he's really looking forward to the spring. I think he's really looking forward to the competition that's going to happen this spring. The Vandagriff family, throughout the recruitment, throughout their college search, they've always wanted to stay very close to home, and I think that's probably what they're going to try to do regardless. MJ Sherman was a name. Here's the thing. You got to look at guys that, have been at Georgia for a while and have yet to bust through, especially when there's some talented newcomers coming. Like, a lot of offensive linemen, I would look to that position. I would look to linebackers that have been of Georgia since the 2019, 2020 class. Perfect example. I think Rian Davis and Tresman Marshall could go probably start somewhere at like Arkansas, somewhere play some great ball in the SEC right now. You wonder, with Shmuel Munden and Jamon Dumas-Johnson and these plethora of freshmen coming in, you wonder about those type of guys. You wonder about receivers, especially, some receivers that have been in the program for a while. When you see Dominic Lovett and Ra Thomas coming in, just kind of look and see where players are moving into the program. And you wonder, those guys are probably going to get looks, and not just the guys that have been there for 3 or 4 seasons. I think one thing Georgia's got to look at, that maybe – you look about run it back guys, and you look about who would be the big names that announced could be coming back. I would say A.D. Mitchell would be a guy. I would see, Xavier Truss would be a guy. Cedric Von Pron Granger, man, that guy is a special football player. You talk about a bedrock anchor of a young man, type of guy that I think should, the way NIL should work. Man, if there's a way that the Georgia collectives can put together an NIL package for Cedric Von Pron Granger where, maybe he's a 3rd-round center right now, and when you look like a 3rd-round center in the NFL, then it's not going to change with one more year. But maybe you put together one more NIL package, and Cedric Von Pron Granger could become the face of the offense, one of the true faces of the program. He already is such a great representative, such a great speaking captain. But then the lure of, hey, go play NFL football, maybe be the 1st, 2nd, 3rd center drafted in the 2023 NFL draft. That has a lot of allure to it as well. But whatever Cedric Von Pron Granger does, that's a great family. That's a great young man. He's going to make the best decision for him in his future. And, Georgia people can't help but clap it up for him, because he's going to do what's best for his future and everything else. Falcons fan 1020, Deuce Robinson's about to go on a visit in about this next weekend. He's going to go to participate in the Polynesian Bowl. He's going to celebrate his birthday. He's playing some high school basketball right now. I would say, I don't know if you guys saw a lot of the coverage I think the chances are very strong there with both Deuce Robinson and Walker Lyons. I think both of those guys feel like that Georgia is the team to beat for both of those right now. Foster Moss, thanks for the kind words. That's some stuff right there. Let me go to Facebook real quick. I'm just trying to catch some questions because we got a lot of videos to show you guys. One of the things, one of our first videos coming up, like I said, we're going to have Payton Woodyard, the recent 2024 commitment. You get a little behind the scenes there with your with his commitment and with his commitment ceremony out in Texas for the All-American Bowl out in San Antonio. Let me see if I can hop into this show right now. Thanks for following along. Tim Strickland, how are you? Randy Hall, how are you? Mike Mazzell. See a lot of people watching right now. Again, guys, got questions? Let me recap. Lots of videos coming. The Raiola talk is certainly real. I think it's certainly valid. And you've also got a huge recruiting weekend this weekend. It never stops. Not only does it never stop, it accelerates. You look for Georgia recruiting to continue to find new gears and new levels. As the word dynasty, the word run is certainly happening in Athens. History, magical, and all that. Let's do this. We got 4 videos coming. Let's take a look at the first one right now. You want to see some behind the scenes. You want to see some Bill Goldberg. You want to see some one-on-one with the 2024 safety signee, Payton Woodyard, out of St. John Bosco in Bellflower, California. He's a national champion in high school. He's going to be joining a national championship program in January of 2024. Let's meet Payton Woodyard right now here on Before the Hedges, brought to you by DawgNation from Kroger.
Say what's up, that being said, the next 4 years, I have to enjoy Georgia.
What was it about Georgia that made you want to go there?
Let's go over it with there.
Brandon, he's from Moreno, California. Took us a little game. Monday about 45 minutes away. He's going to attend the national championship for Georgia. Payton Woodyard going to attack.
From one dog to another. From one dog to another. Way to go, Peter. Way to go, man. Over. Way to go. Congratulations, everybody. Y'all get a lot of action. I can tell you that. Hey, turn around. Let's get a picture with you guys. Hey, here, turn around. Hey, get in there. Hey, come on, man.
See you, bud.
Most fun of my life, and I've done everything. Way to go! Congratulations, everybody! Boom! Go down! Coach Fran told me they're gonna coach me hard. Coach Fran, Mustang, Coach Kirby. How much better can it get for a DB and the safety at that? Kirby plays safety himself, so it's gonna be fun.
I hear you give Coach Graham Brown a lot of love in your recruitment. Talk about the relationship you've been able to build with him.
He's just a real dude. He's my favorite person I met in this whole process. He stands by everything he says, and I'm a big believer in that. He's a man of his word, and I'm gonna be a man of my word. So he's gonna make me not just a better football player, but a better person.
Hey man, I gotta ask you, when did you know? Like, when did the lightning bolt hit you, and you're like, I'm gonna be a dog?
Just like, I've been praying on it with my family and everything. And last week, I was like, got off the phone with the whole staff, and I was like, it just feels right. And I'm like, I'm gonna be a dog.
Now you were nervous up there, man. It looked like you were nervous. Tell me about those emotions.
this is just a dream come true. The All-American Bowl is one of the biggest stages, and it's been a dream of mine to commit on TV here, and it happened. And my whole family was here to watch me, and I'm just very excited and thankful for everyone here.
So what does DawgNation need to know about Payton Woodyard? What are you going to bring to the team next time, January 2024?
They're gonna get a hard-working cat that's gonna be not a cat, but I'm actually a dog. A hard-working dog that's gonna be on the field 24/7, just working.
Think about meeting Goldberg, man. What did he say to you?
He's an awesome dude. You know, he said he went to Georgia and everything, and he loves Georgia. So it was awesome meeting him and just being able to chop it up with him a little bit.
Payton, when you went for the unofficial for Tennessee, did you come out of that thinking it was probably going to be Georgia, or what happened after that?
The first day I ever set foot on campus at Georgia, we was at the practice field, and I told my parents as soon as we left campus, I was like, this is a place I can see myself coming every day and just working nonstop. I feel like it just felt like home, like at a workplace, you know. When you feel at home at a workplace, that's when you know it's right.
Payton, it was probably Georgia and Texas at the end. How did Georgia kick out Texas here?
That's just where my heart was at, and that's where I was meant to go. And I'm happy to be a dog.
You said Athens. Did you plan that, or was that spontaneous? You know, normally somebody says Georgia or whatever. When you announced your decision, you said I'm going to be in Athens. Why did you do that?
The city of Athens, I love it. It's the perfect fit for me. I love Athens. Everything about it and what it got to offense.
Payton Woodyard, brand new dog. Do you know that this makes Georgia the #1 recruiting class in the country for 2024?
Nah, I didn't know that.
You just took them to #1. Big win out of California. Payton Woodyard, thanks for your time, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You got to see a dog commit, man. What was that? Was that a bonus? What was going through your mind?
Oh, it's awesome. Talk about timing, man. Are you kidding me? I mean, these kids here, it's a dream come true for them. And to be front and center when we get a Georgia commit, unbelievable, man. Very exciting for me. Exciting for him, hopefully. And as a dog, I just met a new one.
What did you tell him about Athens? I heard you were giving him some stories.
Yeah, you know, Athens had everything to do with molding me as a human being. I mean, the good, bad, and the indifferent. They're just wonderful people, wonderful town, wonderful support for the university. And I spent 5 years of my life there, and I can honestly say it was the best 5 years I've ever had.
There you have it, guys. Bill Goldberg, Payton Woodyard, nation's #2 safety for 2024, his commitment. Back on Saturday, a lot has happened in our worlds as the days have went by and the hours have went by since Saturday when the Dogs picked up that commitment. There's some never before seen video there with Goldberg actually getting to interact. I'll put a story up on DawgNation.com soon about what that was like, having an all-time legendary Georgia Bulldog watching a commitment go down. Goldberg actually lives in Texas. His son is actually a pretty stinking good linebacker. Don't know if he's a 4-star or anything like that, but a quality prospect in the 2024 class. Not quite as big as his dad, but about 6 foot, 6'1", maybe 230, something like that. He's a linebacker, plays for Texas. He's in the class of 2024. Maybe he preferred walks on to Georgia. His son, he told me, Tristan Goldberg told me that it would be his dream to be able to play at Georgia as well. Considering everything that's going on now with all things Georgia related, and who wouldn't it be? Like I said, interviews galore. You had Goldberg, you have 2024 commitment right now. Let's do this. I want to take you to Orlando, probably one of the most impressive players in the 2023 class because there's a lot of them. Let's start this out with another DawgNation conversation. You want to hear from Troy Bowles, the son of NFL Tampa Bay Bucks head coach Todd Bowles. Check it out right here, right now on DawgNation's Before the Hedges.
Troy Bowles, articulate, funny. I got to get your reaction to the national semifinal, man. What were you doing? Were you?
I was in the room with like 2 other people, and I ain't gonna lie, I was nervous, but we brought it home like right as the clock struck. So I mean,
are you watching the ball? Are you watching the game?
No, I'm not watching the ball at all. I'm watching the game. I was watching my clock on my phone. I wasn't really worried about New Year's, to be honest. I just wanted Georgia to win.
Did you fist pump? What did you do? What was your reaction?
I ain't gonna lie, I was running down the hallway. Yeah.
I think I've asked you this before. Could be 2 national championship backs-to-backs that you're going to be going and entering a program like that. Is it a blessing? Is it a burden? Is it a lot of work? Is it let's go? What's the feeling like?
It's a blessing because I think they're like setting the standard now, and you know it's not easy to win championships. So, I mean, we're just going to have to work that much harder to keep it going. So,
What did you like the best about that game? Like, here's a coach's kid's question. What was your favorite? What do you think was the biggest play of the game?
biggest play?
A lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. I ain't gonna lie. I don't even know. I don't know. I think the biggest part was that they kept fighting like all 4 quarters. Like, people were going down, but I mean, it was just next person up. Even if it was like freshmen, they just kept going. So,
Troy, I know you're looking and eyeballing what your future teammates are doing here this week. Who's opening your eyes? Who's impressed you with their game?
I haven't seen. Actually, yeah, this is my first time seeing a lot of them play. I'll probably say Raylan. He that boy hitting now. I ain't gonna lie.
He's kind of a monster, isn't he?
Yeah.
And for you, how do you boil it down? Why are you so proud to be a Georgia Bulldog right now? What made you a dog, and why do you still feel great about where you're headed?
Because everybody go there for like one purpose, just to work hard and be the best they could be. And they never try to down each other. We always helping each other out. So I think we got a good class coming in. Everybody got the same goal.
What does everybody need to know about you? You know, everybody's going to say, you know, he's his dad, he's rating, he's an All-American. What do you want people to know about you besides that?
Basically, aside all that, I'm just here to work and get it like everybody else does, like aside all the outside noise.
The role might be a little bit of safety, a little more linebacker. How's it going to go for you when you first get started?
I think it's going to be more linebacker, but they talked about that little nickel position, but I think it's just going to be linebacker.
Troy Bowles, Under Armour All-American, man. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
What's up, everybody? Sometimes, man, life of a recruiting reporter, getting texts in the middle and got to respond to everybody else going on, things happening during the show, things being said during the show, things that maybe need to be said during the show. That was Troy Bowles, really impressive young man. One of those guys I talked to at Linked at Orlando. There'll be another big-time story there. The really A to Z story I really wanted to write about Troy Bowles. That will come to you guys as well soon. Not tonight. Everybody's pointing out how sleepy Jeff looks from taking a red eye this morning and getting back into Georgia. But soon, Troy Bowles, one of those guys that gives off those kind of like team captain vibes a little bit. You know, he looks so good, guys, down at the Under Armour game. I watch players for a living, and one of the things you notice is like sometimes players are trying to figure it out. They're trying to process. And really, there's some high-level, very great processors. Troy Bowles is the guy that is just reactive. He's like a jungle cat. He was in coverage. He was taking guys down A-gap in open space. Played his whole entire senior year at Jesuit High in Tampa as a safety. I always kind of marvel at the game he had in the playoffs where he had 3 picks and he had 2 pick sixes. I think he's a guy, especially considering where he's built at right now. I think he's a guy with his frame could do a lot of those Javon Bullard things. I think he could play some star. I really think he could play some on the back end there at Georgia, as well as he plays football. He's a great tackler, such a smart football player. You want to talk about a guy that would be back there and do some Chris Smith type things. Remember, that's a guy that I think Chris Smith can do that can do some of those things. Now, he's rated as a linebacker. Don't get me wrong, be a great linebacker. And Georgia also has 2 other great linebackers in Raylan Wilson and C.J. Allen in this class as well. Another thing I got to bring out to you guys, I don't know if you guys heard this, but the very last thing Kirby said after his team won the national championship gave me some vibes of 2017 in the Rose Bowl. He talked about scout teamers. He talked about scout teamers and how the Georgia scouts did the TCU 3-3-5 defense as well as TCU did it or outdid it. And one of the names he singled out was number 6, C.J. Allen. Folks, C.J. Allen passed up the All-American Bowl out in Texas, all that fanciness, all that pomp, all that circumstance, all that, hobnobbing or whatever, to be in bowl practices for Georgia. He was on the sidelines for the Peach Bowl. He was on the sidelines for the national championship game out at SoFi Stadium. But one of the things Kirby Smart did is he singled out the way C.J. Allen repped the 3-3-5 linebacker position for the Dogs. And he did that, and it was special and pertinent to him on his mind the night of the national championship victory. After the last question was stated and asked in the press conference, Kirby came back and made sure to throw a special shout out to the defensive scouts for how they got Georgia so ready for that 65-7 drubbing of the TCU Horned Frogs. We promised interviews galore. You've seen Payton Woodyard so far. That was Troy Bowles. Let's take another one right now. Let's learn a little bit about offensive line signee Monroe Freeling from the Pacific Northwest. He moved to Charleston when he was a little bit older and growing up. Monroe Freeling, another All-American that was at Texas for the Dogs, representing for the Dogs this past weekend. Let's take a look. Let's take a listen here on Before the Hedges, brought to you by Kroger. Monroe Freeling, guys.
We got YogaNation.com here with Georgia signee Monroe Freeling. If you're from the South, it is Monroe. If you're from the Pacific Northwest, it is Monroe. Liberties will apply. We're going to talk some yoga today, Monroe.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about the best position for you, your favorite position.
It's got to be like pigeon, or this little hip stretch. I don't know what it's called. And the shoulder. There's a lot of good positions. It just depends on where you're hurting and, I mean, how you want to feel. But pigeon's definitely the best one. I think no matter what, no matter how flexible you are, you'll still always feel something while you're doing pigeon.
Do you ever feel like maybe Christopher Columbus when you're doing yoga, like you're exploring undiscovered country for offensive linemen everywhere? Do you feel like you're a pioneer at all?
I mean, I think it should. I mean, I know Joe Thomas, NFL left tackle, he did a lot of yoga throughout his career, and I think that also helped him with his career. But I think I'm just, trying to bring it out to everybody. I know that Georgia actually does a lot of yoga every Thursday. So, I mean, I won't be a rookie to that. I think I'll be a little bit of a vet when it comes to that yoga instruction. But, I think, everyone probably looks at me like I'm crazy with some of the stuff I do. But, it just helps me. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
How many yoga terms can you rattle off in 10 seconds? Yoga positions that you've done?
Damn. Some of them I don't know the names to, but I know how to do them.
Yeah.
Pigeon's definitely the most notable. There's Shavasana, there's down dog, there's high boat, low boat, there's up dog, there's like the supine twist, there's like the nap post. It's called chaturanga. No, chaturanga actually. Chaturanga Shavasana is a different thing.
That's plenty.
That's all I got on top of my head.
That's plenty. Got a message to the Georgia fans. What do people need to know about Monroe on the way to Athens? You're going to be moving in this weekend, I guess, right?
Yes, sir. I'm just going to come in and compete, and hopefully I can get on the field. But, go Dogs. I'm really happy to be a part of the family, and I'm ready to compete on the field and make you guys proud.
You got a Monroe Freeling MVP so far from fellow Bulldogs here at the All-American Bowl. Who are you giving it to? Maybe it might be a tough decision, but who are you giving it to so far?
Like out of all the players?
Yeah, of your guys. How to get future teammates.
I'm going Jordan Hall. He's just been dominating and doing what Georgia defensive linemen do best.
Monroe Freeling, heck of a kid. Coming your way soon, Athens. Thanks for taking some time.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, that's back. That's I was kind of kidding with Monroe right there. Such a great guy, great spirit, great young man. That was Yoga Nation there on here on DawgNation Before the Hedges, brought to you by Kroger. Folks, guys, who's going to be at the parade? Who's going to have fun today? Who's going to be going back to the parade? You're going to do both parades. I'd love to hear everybody in the chat that's going to be in Athens again on Saturday. Why not? I'll be there, of course. Got to check all those recruits that are going to be in town, of course. But, one of the things to think about, guys, Kroger, you got Kroger Boost. This is the time of year where everything feels boostable right now. Obviously, our morning boost on DawgNation, where we talk about things that are going on great with the Georgia program. For $59 a year, you can get Kroger Boost. And what that will do is it will upgrade your fuel point savings. It will give you that free grocery delivery. It will allow you to kind of dictate, windows to get grocery delivery and, special times, special options. And also, when you start stacking those fuel points, they can save you up to $1 per gallon on gasoline. I was out there in California. It's funny, Brandon and I took a day yesterday, kind of see the sights a little bit so I can at least do something besides cover a football team and take pictures of recruits and work. We went out to Santa Monica Pier. We went out to Malibu beaches, talk about very beautiful there. Saw some folks surfing, saw some gorgeous real estate. And it was kind of cool. But, one of the things, you start driving through LA, that area, some areas where there was smog, some areas where you see the gas prices, and those are like $5, $4.85 or something like that. So that's the type of thing that Kroger Boost can always help you out with. Guys, now it's time to talk about the Fetty. It's time to talk about that. Did you guys see the All-American Bowl? Did you guys see the story on DawgNation.com where we kind of detailed the behind the scenes of how Jordan Hall had about 10-1 stuffed into his sock, and that's a tribute to Mykel Williams after he made his first big play of the All-American Bowl. Had to be up by 14 points. That was the coaching point, and they were quickly. And Jordan Hall made probably the most viral play of the game. Going to make a lot more for the Dogs during his time in Athens. Did you hear that good word that Monroe Freeling said, that he kind of thought the best dog in San Antonio was Jordan Big Baby Hall? Guys, I talked to coaches out at for the East team out at San Antonio for the All-American Bowl, and they kind of felt that probably the best pound-for-pound prospect on the East team was probably Jordan Big Baby Hall. Now he's not Jalen Carter. He's not going to be all those things Jalen Carter is. He's not going to play a 5 technique, but he's going to be a really good 3 tech for Georgia. I think he's going to play quickly in Athens because he's coming in with a demeanor to work and to get ready to work. You want to hear from Jordan Big Baby Hall? Sure. Why don't we go 4 for 4 with interviews tonight on Before the Hedges, brought to you by Kroger. Check it out right here on DawgNation.com.
Tell me about the plan, man. Was that planned to throw money up in the air on that?
Well, definitely the plan.
What was that? Were they 10s? Were they 5s? Were they 1s?
No, I'm not stupid. They were 1, but I talked to my coach about it before the game. I asked if I got the 15-yard, would it be okay? He said it's fine, just have fun. So that's really all it was.
So you were going to do that in the first play you made, right?
Yeah, he said, I know, it was supposed to be the first sack, but Keon would come out the edge too fast. So I really couldn't get there fast enough. So it was straight. But yeah, the first play I made, basically, I was going to throw in a bunch of ones. Bing, 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 bing.
What do you think Coach Scott would have said about that?
Oh, we getting fatty. I mean, Michael Williams, that's a celebration after getting a sack. So I just want to pay tribute to him. And he played in this game last year, did well. So each team went out on top, and that's all that matters.
But then you end up making a play by yourself. That was kind of fitting, huh?
Exactly. Yeah, most definitely. So yeah, I mean, that was really the primary goal for me going into the games and making one play. All I needed was one to throw the money and just have fun. That was really it.
What's this week been about for you?
Really proving myself. I mean, I felt like I was really underrated going into this week. And the rankings ain't really mean too much now. This is a very good experience for me to learn a lot of things. So honestly, I felt like it's just a learning experience for me and just prove myself to everybody that I'm better than what they rated me as.
Can I ask you about your family? You might have more family here than anybody, and I know some of them drove. I mean, what does this feel like to have all the people that you love here for you?
I mean, honestly, it's a blessing. I mean, a lot of people don't have their family in their life, but I'm glad to have mine. So I'm really just blessed to have a lot of family here, and I'm just thankful for them.
Jordan, you're very personable, man. I learned today that the Big Baby name happened when you were real little. You were just a big baby.
Yeah, I was a big kid, but it really started getting popular when I still my freshman year. That's when I really got it.
What are your thoughts on the Natty? What's going to happen, and what's your message for DawgNation everywhere?
Oh, man, we're going back to back. I mean, that's the goal, to go back to back. So we're going to have fun. We're going to turn on Monday and go Dogs after championship back to back.
Got a message for all the fans out there?
Oh, yeah. We're coming for a third one.
Sound goes out, sound comes back in, everybody's back. Did you guys get the end of the Jordan Big Baby Hall interview? Did we get through all of Jordan Big Baby Hall? Hopefully we did. Hope you got a chance to hear from that young man and how talented he is. I think we were talking about what was coming potentially. There's another decision looming here this week on January the 13th. That would be Jalen AP Hayward, the 2024 safety out of Florida. They call him AP. The Dogs have always been a strong contender for him there. Can Georgia stack up the safeties in the 2024 cycle? That would be worth watching as well. Hopefully you guys hung out. Hopefully you guys started hanging out and watching us as well. You guys any questions? We had a full show. We went through 4 interviews. We talked a little bit about Dylan Raiola. We talked a little bit about the recruiting weekend coming up this weekend with some of the marquee commitments coming into town for the celebration and the trophy and the parade. Let me see if anybody else has anything else on their mind. People are like, there you are. Where'd you go? Kirby's belt. Everybody's like, bathroom break. No, you guys are funny. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out. Again, don't know really what happened there, but glad to be back. Glad to be back home. Glad to be back in the state of Georgia. Maybe I'll get some shut eye, but anyway, never stops. Recruiting never stops. We're here Before the Hedges, brought to you by Kroger. I hope you guys have yourself a good weekend. Hope you guys have a good week. I'll see everybody in Athens. Certainly good hanging out. Certainly going to be able to bring all these videos to you. I think next few weeks we've got Janelle Aguero, we got Justin Rhett, we've got Pierce Sperling III, we've got Raylan Wilson. Can't wait for you guys to hear from Raylan Wilson, what a dude that is. Deuce Robinson, lots of guys to hear from our trips and travels over the recruiting trail. Also a pretty cool video from a lot of the Georgia recruits and targets that were telling me how much they want Deuce Robinson in the class for the class of 2023. Remainders for the class of 2023, you've got Georgia looking at Walker Lyons, the tight end. You've got Georgia looking at Deuce Robinson, the other tight end. Is it Georgia? What's the status there with Georgia and Smoke Bowie? Will he become a part of this class? Will he be a transfer portal guy into this class as well? have to wait and see on that one. What we will not have to wait and see is another great episode of DawgNation Daily tomorrow. That's Brandon Adams. Hopefully my man got through the Western and got through the Pacific time zone and got on his way back to Georgia today. I think he's probably going to get back in sometime tonight. Hope all you guys that are still traveling or that are already on their way or already made it back home. Hope you guys enjoyed LA as much as everybody else did. It is a great time to be a DawgNation.com reporter. Got to say, very thankful, very humble, very blessed to be able to do this. One of the things I always try to make sure I take a minute, gratefulness. I took a minute before the national championship game this weekend at SoFi Stadium on Monday night, and I just thought about the COVID year. I thought about a lot of seasons covering Georgia football where they were still trying to find the players, or the players were still kind of skeptical. I think it was really telling for me. This was the first time, been doing this a lot of years. I went to an All-American Bowl, and I didn't have to talk to recruits about, can Georgia win the national championship? Or this was the first time that recruits talked to one another and they were like, hey, let's go be the first. No, they hadn't done that. Georgia had already won the national championship. You were talking to players from the perspective of, this is a program that has won a national championship, and would you like to win more there? It was no longer, let's be the class that does it. Let's be the one that breaks through. Let's be the one that breaks the drought. Now these classes are, let's be the ones that establishes something that will last forever in college football history. And that's what these Georgia Bulldogs are trending to do right now. I'm going to say it a lot. I think the 2024 team, the way it's being built and put together, will be the best football team in Georgia football history under Kirby Smart. I think next year's team will be staggering, especially with the new transfer portal additions at wide receiver, linebackers, certain spaces, certain places on the field. We'll look at the offensive line there for maybe most of the major repair work or most of the major reconstruction. Of course, Stetson Bennett at quarterback as well. Great time to be a part of all things Georgia football, to be covering the Dogs the way we do here on DawgNation.com. I'm Jeff Sentell. That has been Before the Hedges. Before the Hedges becomes a podcast on your favorite platform. I don't do this often, but I'm going to do this this week. If you guys would be so inclined, consider subscribing to our YouTube page, giving it a like on Facebook. We're going to bring this stuff to you wall to wall all the time. That's what we do. We've been going 6, 7, 8 years strong. So thankful to meet all you guys out there in Los Angeles. You guys say a kind word. You say, Jeff, you say, enjoy your work and enjoy DawgNation. One of the things I did, it's funny. One of the things I did, it's really an adventure. Maybe sometimes I'll write something about it. When you're trying to get those papers down on the sidelines for the national championship or the SEC championship or the semifinal championship celebration. And one of the things, they made things so much harder this year at SoFi Stadium with rules and backpacks and scanning. No backpacks were allowed. So, we had to kind of go Shawshank a little bit. We had to use our MacGyver resources to figure out a way to get that done with a couple of team efforts. But had a lot of extra field editions, those AJC DawgNation field editions. And probably one of the coolest things I got to do yesterday is when I was walking around the airport, or when I was walking around LA in certain parts of the hotel or whatever, is I would see some Dog fans, and I would see some people that say, hey, thanks for what you do, or thanks for your work. Guys, we certainly appreciate that. But what I would do is I would come back to them later and I'd say, man, I appreciate you. I thank you for the coverage. And I was passing out some field editions in the Sky Clubs last night. I was passing out some field editions on our Delta One jet last night coming back. It was really cool to be able to interact with each and every one of you guys and to just tell you how much we appreciate you guys, because we wouldn't have this site. We wouldn't have any of this stuff here without the attention span that we have from you guys, you great, wonderful, thankful Georgia fans. I think of a lot of you as friends. I think of a lot of you, these names on our shows and feeds, as family as well. That's Jeff Sentell talking off his soapbox. Hope you guys have a great week, and the national championship glow continues for some time. We'll see everybody in Athens on Saturday. Hope everybody gets there safe. You guys be well. That's your intel. We'll see you guys later on the pages of DawgNation.com.